My name is Chris Rad, and I'm making this video about Dr. John R. Levine. Dr. Levine was hired in a case that I'm involved in as an expert. I've known about Dr. Levine since January 8th, and today is January 11th, so about 3 days. So I'm going to show you what I've learned about Dr. Levine in the last 3 days. First thing I did was Google Dr. Levine's name. John R. Levine, and his website comes up. So here's his website, and I'm going to learn a little bit about Dr. Levine from his website. Goes through his history and his education, obviously highly intelligent, his background, some of his previous jobs. Let y'all read through this if anything matters to you. Nothing really kind of struck me as interesting. His website is johnrlevine2 as well, so this is not his actual website that I'm going to put this on. And I'm not pretending it is his website. But down here especially, I'm going to go zoom in on his education. And Dr. Levine holds 2 degrees from Yale University, a BA in 1975 and a PhD both in computer science. So he's obviously an expert in the field of computer science. Now here's a little bit more about Dr. Levine, and we're going to zoom out here. And Dr. Levine writes a blog. And we're going to go through some of Dr. Levine's blog posts. So now we're going through and we're going back a few years. And if you'll notice, there's some advertisements that pop up on his website. Obviously, Dr. Levine makes money off of these. Ostensibly, it might be how he pays for the website or pays for something else. But we're going back. We're at 2007. Now we're at 2006. We're going to go down a little bit. And here's an article the doctor wrote about pump and dump. Should be coming right up. There it is. So we click on this article, and I want you to notice down here in the bottom left, it says, must-have penny alerts. Stop missing out on enormous gains. Get our penny stock alerts now, and it goes to freepennyAlerts.com. So that's where we are now. I signed up for this newsletter service a couple days ago, and I want to go to my mail account now, which is a mail.com account. And we're going to log into the account. And I want to show you the first thing that they sent me, basically. So as the email loads here, go down and find the first email these guys sent me. Okay, we open it up, and it's a pretty standard welcome email from a company that's in this type of business. But what was interesting to me is at the very bottom of the email, it asks this question down here. Ask me if I would like to profit from insider trades. Insider trading is illegal. I'm not an attorney and I'm not going to give legal advice, but it's basically the reason Martha Stewart went to prison. Now, I want you to look at where this email is coming from. It says info@freepennyAlerts.com, and if I look at the email that actually is in the from address and the header up here, it says info@freepennyAlerts.com. Now, there's a reason why this is important. And here's another letter coming from the same address. So this letter actually is enticing interstate or international commerce, which is basically the way the law reads. And I'm going to go and find out who owns this. We're there. Type it in. Paste it in, actually. Hit the search. And it comes up. So we're looking, and we're going to basically find where it is, and it should basically tell us to find the who is information. Here's the who is information. And it says registered by domains by proxy, which is what is called private WHOIS registration, or keeping your information private. Now this is important because in 2010 there was a case in the Ninth Circuit, an appellate case, where they actually said that having your WHOIS information set to private is considered a material falsification under the CAN-SPAM Act. It's actually a felony. And this guy that lost this case is in prison because he had his domains set to private and sent commercial email off of them. So down here I want to show you that there is Mr. John Levine commenting on this article or this court case. So I think it's pretty fair to assume that Mr. Levine knows that emailing with private WHOIS information is a violation of the law. Now here's a little radio interview I found with Dr. Levine that shows he is an expert in these fields, and these things that I've pointed out are definitely in his realm of knowledge.
Speaking of justice, on the Legal Broadcast Network, last week the Virginia Supreme Court overturned a state anti-spam law and the 2004 conviction of longtime spammer Jeremy Janes, saying the law is an overly broad prohibition on anonymous free speech. My guest is the newly elected president of the Coalition Against Unsolicited Commercial Email. He's an internet expert and author, John Levine, who happens to be in England right now. Hi, John.
Hi there.
If Janes had violated this law after CAN-SPAM, would it have been easier to convict him?
Oh, it would have been a slam dunk. Even his lawyer has admitted that had he done what he did after the beginning of 2004, that CAN-SPAM would clearly apply, and they would have had no trouble convicting him. And that's really why this particular ruling has very little effect on anybody else.
Can you speak a little bit about CAN-SPAM and the requirements for commercial emailers, what the law actually states?
CAN-SPAM has the peculiarity that it doesn't actually outlaw spam. It's a handbook for spamming. It says if the spam you send out has a variety of things, and it has to have your postal mailing address, it has to say that it's an advertisement, it has to say how you can unsubscribe, and the unsubscribe has to be very straightforward. It's simply an email or one click on a web page, and a couple of things like that. Then you can send all the spam you want, until people tell you to stop.